What's going on, GBA universe? This is TheUziGuner bringing you people the very next episode of Trainer Cards. As promised last week, we will be covering none other than a man who's had a considerably large amount of experience in League format, Necrostevo. So with that out of the way, let's get this show on the road. Necrostevo is a guy who made his debut in the GBA last season in Week 5, replacing longtime coach Cooper Koshiro. Prior to that, he has competed in a total of 5 leagues known as the ILL, LBA, VPL, APL, and the PPL respectively, going under the team name of Eterna City Enders and Venice Venusaurs for one season. He's won a total of 38 games and lost 29 of them, giving him an alrightish percentage of 56.7. Despite the percentage, it'd be foolish to count him out as he did manage to reach playoffs 3 times in total, showing that he definitely has what it takes to go in for the long run. Now with the records out of the way, let's take a look at the type of teams that Necrostevo uses. Just by looking at it from first glance, you can tell that it isn't necessarily the rather standard type of teams that most draft ballers choose to pick up. But before I get into it, I may as well clarify that the reason why the second team you see before you has 2 megas is due to the fact that the league known as the APL had a rule where you have all the liberty in the world to have the Mega Stone or a normal set in the Pokemon you drafted that's capable of Mega Evolution. Crazy, I know. But yeah, in his words, he likes to draft some sorts of balance with unorthodox options, hence why you see an Illumis before your very eyes. Despite that, his description firmly fits the type of teams that you see here, as it does give him all the liberty to think outside of the box, come up with specific plans which many would never think of before finally executing it. But it doesn't entirely lie around the concept of just unorthodox innovation, as there are essential bits needed in every draft team, such as some decent setup sweepers, full turn initiators, rockers, and so on. Now with that out of the way, let's take a look at Necrostevo's most successful Pokemon, which would have to be none other than the one and only Mega Blastoise. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, even though he drafted it once in his career, he managed to secure a total of 10 straight kills with it, which is very admirable. You see, the reason why he managed to get that many kills with it is due to the fact that a lot of thought and planning was put into each set that he would bring regarding it every single week. He would not be the type of player that just run max HP with near max special attack with a little bit of speed, give it a modest nature and call it a day, no siree. On certain occasions, he'd prioritize on adding more bulk to Mega Blastoise whilst giving it enough special attack investment and a suiting nature to still be able to secure 2 shots on most Pokemon, which would ensure that this Mega would be capable of taking many more hits leniently before going on from there. The set which impressed me the most, however, would be the time where he ran Aqua Gen Mega Blastoise, designing the set as well as the remainder of his team in such a way where Mono 2's Terrakion would spam close combat, and in the specific situation where that Mega Blastoise was severely weakened and give Mono the reassurance to continue spamming close combat and get a threat out of the way, he'd pick him off with an Aqua Jet, thereby thwarting his plans entirely as a whole. I was definitely impressed by how he used it, and it definitely showed me that in no way is Mega Blastoise a one-trick pony. And now for the final segment, let's talk about Necrostevo as a battler in general. First and foremost, I think it's worth mentioning that the reason why you don't see much of his teams contain legendary Pokemon is mainly due to the fact that Stevo here legitimately breeds all of his mons. Unless he has certain legendaries in his game that are capable of doing a various number of roles for him, or if he's in a showdown league, the chances of him drafting any sorts of mythical or special Pokemon are as likely as my country's currency ever rising in value. With that being said, it must also be mentioned that as a draft battler in general, he has shown very huge signs of improvement when compared to his past seasons. In his very first season in the PPL, he had a team which was not necessarily the best and kind of forced the Pokemon in his team to always run 1 to 2 sets every week, just to even have a remote shot in winning the game, which severely hampered him from ever being creative and left him as a rather predictable opponent to prep for. And that's why his first season there ended up being an absolute disaster. Fast forward to his last season there, his drafting, building, and playing style has definitely shown drastic improvement. Unlike before, he now knows how to make very aggressive predictions every now and then just to get himself back in the game or ensure that he always stays in control. Furthermore, I can't stress the sense of unpredictability that he can bring in a couple of occasions, whether it be through having Dambrock Illumis as his range setter, to even bringing Fizdef, Rocky Helmet, Prankster, Charm of all things, to 1v1 a Swords Dancing Doublade, Necro definitely does know how to think outside the box every now and then. It's one of the main reasons why I genuinely believe that with enough consistency and constant search for improvement, he definitely can become one of GBA's premier contenders and maybe someday become a guy that's more than capable of taking home the GBA title. I look forward to seeing what other forms of innovation he may bring for the foreseeable future. So with that being said, that's the end of the 4th episode of Trainer Cards. I hope you all managed to enjoy this one, and as far as next episode goes, I'll be covering none other than Jolt of the Token Minorities. So I hope you all are looking forward to that one, and as always, do let me know in the comment section down below what are your thoughts of Necrostevo in general. Like, comment, subscribe, and with that, I'll see you all next week. Peace!